I don't hate it, okay? I'm not miserable. I'm not screaming and yelling. I'm just being honest that I didn't celebrate last night. I'm worried about this trade. I'm worried on a few levels. A, David Stearns has shown us that he's not signing Freddy Peralta to a long-term deal.
Right, especially in his soon-to-be year 30 season.
Yes. He's not going to do it. He hasn't done it yet. So I am under the impression, until proven otherwise, that Freddy Peralta is a rental. Giving up
1 year rental.
a 1 year rental. And I like Tobias Myers, but more on that later, I guess. To give up 2 top 100 prospects in Jett Williams and Brandon Sproat for a rental for a team that I think has a chance to be good, I guess. I don't love it. And so here's where I'm mixed, Met fans. Are the Mets a better team? Because I could totally see people calling up saying, come on, Evan, are they better? Yes, they're better. Freddy Peralta makes them better.
Yes.
Freddy Peralta.
Their rotation all of a sudden feels good.
No doubt. They have an improved rotation, and all we screamed about was improving the rotation. I get that. In the short term, they're better. But last night and even this morning, as I've had hours to marinate on it, I'm not celebrating. I'm not partying. I'm worried. I'm worried because I think it's a rental, and I think they gave up an awful lot for someone who is a rental. So Tiki Barber as the IBO, Sean as the guy who may disagree with me, Met fans, 888-808-1019. I get it. I'll take my arrows. I'm not trying to be a bad guy. You know how much I love this team.
Right.
You know how much I care. I'm just being honest. I'm not celebrating today. I'm not beating my chest. I'm not apologizing to David Stearns. I'm not doing all that other crap because I'm being real that those are legitimate fears that I have about this trade.
And they are legitimate fears. As I thought about this after it came down and all the, the joy and exaltation that came from the Met fans, I was trying to think of what this actually means from a Met perspective. Like, what is David Stearns and Steve Cohen trying to do? And the only thing I could come up with, because you have some guys that are going to be here you have at least one guy who's going to be here for a long time, Juan Soto. Lindor is going to be here for a long time as well. So you have these two base pieces offensively that you can really count on and believe in. And I guess you have a rotation arm as well because Nolan McLean is still young. He's got arbitrary. He's going to be here for a while. And this offseason has been all about really good acquisitions. Luke Weaver, Devin Williams. But these are like short-term deals.
Yes.
2-year deals.
Yes. They're a very short-term team right now. Yeah.
Even Marcus Semien. It's 2 years, basically. Or actually it's 3.
It's 3, but still.
It's still short-term.
Yeah.
And then you go and you acquire Bo Bichette. Man, this is awesome. So awesome that you have a press conference for him. Mm-hmm. It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
And then you go get Freddy Peralta, and it's a 1-year deal because he's a free agent afterwards, and we know, as you just mentioned, that they're not paying him long-term. So what are they actually doing? So the narrative around Steve Cohen has been, he's only concerned about the casino. He doesn't want to.
That's not fair.
It's not fair, but this is what people are saying.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of stupid when you think about it. He's a businessman. He's gonna weigh, pros and cons of everything. It's what he does for a living. And so while there may be truth that he cares a lot about the casino, I think he cares a lot about this team. And so knowing that he has a short-term minded general manager, president of baseball operations, David Stearns, it's almost like they're just doing it year to year. They're saying, how do we make the best team for 2026?
Right.
And then as soon as this season's over, no matter what happens, even if they win a World Series, they're not signing Freddy Peralta to an 8-year deal. Next year, they're going to say, how do we make the best team for 2027? And it's a crappy way for the fan to live, but it actually might fit what Steve Cohen wants to do business-wise.
Yeah, it may, and certainly that's been my impression over the last few weeks in trying to define what the Met plan is. They want short-term deals, and I'm okay with that when it comes to signing a free agent like Bo Bichette. I'm okay with that when it comes to signing a free agent like Jorge Polanco. Mm-hmm. And again, I feel like I owe people an apology for saying this. I'm not a prospect hugger, but dude, they just gave up 2 top 100 prospects for a guy that's going to walk out at the end of the year. And what I'd ask my fellow Met fan is, what's good enough? Assuming I'm right, and the track record tells me I'm right, because David Stearns has not offered long-term deals to anybody, not named Juan Soto and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Assuming I'm right, and David doesn't take an about face on his approach to pitchers and free agency, don't they have to win the World Series then? Don't they have to get to a World Series? And I say get to a World Series before you mock me, Sean, because when I think back to the Mike Hampton trade, which is very similar, who they ended up renting, even though I thought they tried to keep him, but you can't compete with the Colorado school districts. I look back on it and say, you know what? We got to the World Series. He was the NLCS MVP. Fine. So maybe my bar is lower because I'm a loser Met fan. Get to the World Series and I'm good. Yoenis Cespedes was a rental. We got to the World Series. It was good. But if this is a rental the way I think it is and the way the evidence tells us it is, then they got to get to the World Series. They've got to beat the LA Dodgers.
Right.
They got to beat the Philadelphia Phillies. And I don't think they're as good as those teams.
Well, let me ask you from a day-to-day Met fan perspective.
Yes.
Does what they've done this offseason, now they moved on from the core, and Edwin Diaz and everybody, we all know the names. And now that they've put this team together, the Lukes, Devin Williams, Bo Bichette, Polanco, etc., and obviously now Freddy Peralta, does it make you more likely to want to go to a game?
Well, you're asking the wrong guy. I go no matter what.
I know you do because you have season tickets, but I'm talking from the general Met fan perspective. Do you look at this team and say, oh, they're going to be good. I want to go to a game on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? I don't have anything to do this weekend. I'm going to go on Saturday. Does that incentivize you?
I think
Or is it more like, I feel like the Met fan wants ownership of their fandom with their team. Like, I know Pete Alonso.
Right.
I can't wait for that guy to come up the bat in a game that I tend to get, and he's going to smash one 420 feet. Or I hope this thing is tight because Edwin Diaz is coming in, and I know Edwin Diaz. He's my guy. I got him here for a long time.
Now we're trusting Devin Williams.
I know, and so now it's like, I don't really know what I expect from Devin Williams. I don't really know what to expect from Jorge Polanco. I don't know what to expect from Bo Bichette. Like, we know who they are, but you don't know them as Mets. Yeah, so does it make you more likely to go to a game or not?
I think everybody's different in that regard. Like, I think there are going to be some, and I want to make this clear. I am not bemoaning the loss of Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz in this conversation right now.
I'm not either. I'm just bringing them up because
you
knew what you were getting.
Totally get it. This is such a different team. And it's a different team with guys who are probably not going to be here for the rest of their careers. It's a different team for now. I think that there's probably a lot of mixed opinions on that. I think there are going to be some Met fans who are buying their tickets right now because they feel the team is better. And they may be better. I mean, maybe they are a better team. They better be a better team than they were last year based on the results. I'm just worried that they gave up a lot for someone who's probably only going to be here for a few months. And that only works if you win.
Yeah, that evaluation.
That's my overall worry because it's been 12 hours since the trade went down, and this was my reaction last night. And I thought with a good night's sleep, I'd wake up, I'd be pumped up, we're going to kick ass, we're going to win the pennant, and I'll get there. Like, I promise you, I'll get there at some point as a Met fan because I want to win and ultimately go win a championship. I'd love to be wrong about everything, but I'm sitting here like I'm very, mixed about this. Because they just gave up 2 top 100 prospects for a guy who's not an ace but is close to an ace. And we'll get into more of the details of Freddy Peralta, the good, the bad, and all that. And they did it for until proven otherwise. And that's a fact. I don't think anyone could argue with me about this. Until proven otherwise, he's a rental based on the track record of David Stearns.
Right. How long was Javi Baez here?
He was here for a few months. That's a great comp.
Yeah.
No, it's a great comp because that was a rental. That was a rental. And you know what Met fans sort of forget? Baez was good.
Yeah.
He did his job.
Right. And Peralta will be good.
Well, I assume so.
Well, let's say he is.
I feel like he will be, yes. And how do we view the Javi Baez trade? They didn't re-sign him. Not that we wanted them to. Not that it would have worked out. They gave up a prospect that absolutely has panned out in PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong.
Right.
And, we don't feel good about it. Now, if the Mets would have made the playoffs and gone on a run, even if Baez had left at the end of the year, there would have been a different vibe to it.
Right.
Now, I admit this. If you break the glass at some point today, Sean, and the glass breaks and it's 6 years, $180 million for Freddy Peralta.
That's a different story.
I feel very different.
Right.
But my concern is, and I don't think enough Met fans are talking about it. They're just so excited. Like, David Stearns, masterclass. He's a genius. This is great. You're all idiots. See, he's great. I'm concerned about the future. I'm concerned about what they gave up for a really good pitcher who's probably only going to be here based on David Stearns' track record for the last 5 months. And again, as I say it, I feel bad because I feel like I'm buzz-killing Met fans. I feel like there are Met fans in the car saying, shut up, you just want to hate. I don't just want to hate. I like the Luis Robert Jr. trade. I feel like the risk level wasn't that high.
Right.
I like certain things that they do. This just concerns me. And I felt this way all offseason about the idea of trading for Freddy Peralta, that this was my feeling. My feeling was going to be great. We traded for a guy who's really good. He'll be gone in a year. And that's my feeling on this really, really cold January morning.
Yeah, I don't see a long-term deal happening with the Mets because he has earned the right to go into free agency. You said this about, who do we say this about?
Juan Soto.
We said it about Juan Soto.
Well, he's not Juan Soto.
He's not Juan Soto, but he's pitched for, this is his 9th year in the league. And he had a fantastic year a year ago. His sub-3 ERA. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball. And so, and he has been pretty good leading up to that. He wants to be a free agent.
Probably.
And so, barring any injury concern, which let's assume there isn't one, why would he sign a long-term deal instead of waiting to get to free agency?
I think you are like 80% right when it comes to things like this. The reason I would think it's still small but possible that he would extend is he's not represented by Scott Boras. He's not going to be the best free agent starting pitcher next year because Tarek Skubal is.
Right.
And with the uncertainty of the lockout, it's very possible Freddie says, you know what, I'd want to be here. Let me get my bag. There's a reason he's only making $8 million this season because he signed a contract early in his career. So he's already shown you that maybe there's a willingness. So I wouldn't think it's likely, but I wouldn't rule it out completely the way I did with guys like Juan Soto and Tarek Skubal. And it would change my view on this. But for now, what I'm digesting today is this is a rental. That is my acceptance as a Met fan. And what every Met fan has to answer to themselves, or if they talk to us today at 888-808-1019, is what's good enough to make a rental worth it?
Yeah.
Do they have to win a championship? Do they have to get to the World Series? I remember talking about this with Juan Soto with you guys.
Yes.
They got to win it all, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's interesting. I'm looking at his deal. He signed it in February of 2020.
Yeah.
He hadn't had, his first 2 seasons were okay.
That's why he's only making $8 million.
Right. 5 years, $15 million. That was the contract.
Yeah.
And obviously, there were some other things that happened. He signed exercise an $8 million option. That's what this is now. So, like, he signed a deal for what he has become that is peanuts.
Oh, completely.
Right. And so when he was good on the come up on this 26, 7, 8 years, he's making nothing.
Yeah.
So if I'm him, I need to get paid. I really do. I mean, he's done well, obviously, relatively speaking to the average American, but relative to the average good starting top 10 pitcher, he's making peanuts, dude.
Yeah.
Peanuts.
But regardless, at the end of the offseason, even if the Mets weren't the team to trade for Peralta, they would probably still be a team interested in a Peralta after this. Now, you're going to say, well, based on because David Stearns' track record, you're right, has been let's not give pitchers long-term deals. We've now arrived at the point in David Stearns' Mets tenure where that's the next step to start changing your philosophy a little bit, too. You've taken care of the lineup long-term with Juan Soto. You made the moves you've made this offseason. I need to see that before I
believe it.
Okay, and I agree, and we have to operate that. But even if not, Evan, you have now graduated in the Mets realm of Steve Cohen of knowing every single offseason you are going to be active in spending money. It was Juan Soto last year, and for better or for worse, it took us a while to get here. They were active enough this offseason in building a team. So if you're worried about the prospects you gave up, you didn't wipe the farm system clean, and this is an operation where you keep it humming. You lose him, you acquire somebody next year, and you want to be competitive. And the last thing you want to do right now with Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto, and I know they're not getting ancient, is just, and you're not going to like this word, punt years away. You want to leave no stone unturned and make sure every year those guys are under contract. You were the best suitable World Series contender you could be, and you needed a guy like Peralta.
It's what I said at the beginning. It's his year. How do I make the best Mets team for 2026? Obviously, Lindor and Soto are here for the long haul. How do I make the best 2027 team? And it seems like it might be that way for a decade. Now, maybe you break through and you win a World Series. It's not going to be sustainable and be repeatable like the LA Dodgers, who constantly are going to be, at least in the postseason and deep into it, and possibly winning a World Series. But at least you're giving yourself a chance without doing what the Dodgers are doing.
And what did Evan say about Kyle Tucker, about Bellinger, and about Bichette? There was a common theme. Have you looked at the next couple years' free agent classes with hitters? So I say that to say, if the plan isn't to sign any pitcher long-term, where the hell is Steve Cohen spend the money the next couple off seasons anyway?
Well, I would.
True.
See, keep this in mind, Sean.
You could trade.
I would spend money on certain starting pitchers. And I would break the David Stearns rule that he hasn't broken.
Yeah, but
he hasn't done it
but
yet.
You're not David Stearns.
Well, that's my point back to Sean.
Right.
Like, I'm not arguing with you. Like, yes, there are. That's why I said, would I sign Freddy Peralta tomorrow to a 6-year contract extension? I would. And I'll also admit, I'll raise my hand when I'm wrong, I would have signed Corbin Burns a year ago, and that wouldn't have worked out.
Right.
But I haven't seen this team president do that.
We also haven't seen this team president trade top prospects for a pitcher that they can sign yet either.
I understand. I totally get that. But until proven otherwise, I think Tiki said it best, I'm not going to believe he's going to do it. So my view today on this trade, and I promise you, at some point I'll get pumped up about the team because the Mets have vastly improved their rotation. I mean,
100%.
Freddy Peralta may not be perfect, and he may not be Tarek Skubal. He is a huge upgrade and a huge piece of certainty that this rotation needed. So from that aspect, I love it, but I'm also viewing it as a rental. And I also understand, and that's why it's important to hear from the Met fans who think I'm an idiot right now. And so I want to start off with someone who feels that way, Sean in Yonkers. Sean, tell me why I'm wrong.
What up, Sean?
Well, look, I don't think you're an idiot, Evan. I actually like it. But, no, dude, look, if you think that the Mets don't want to compete with the Dodgers now, you're crazy. I mean, isn't that what we need to do is slay the big bad dragon in the NL? I mean, that's what we're going for. We can't complain about it because if we didn't trade for Peralta, then what's going to happen? That's going to be, Stearns is cheap. Cohen's not spending. He's not traded. Now we have a good top-end starting pitching staff. I would like to add one more, but, I mean, don't forget, too, we got Tobias Myers. That's a big key in the trade as well.
Right.
You know,
both.
And look, holding on to prospects, it's just, look, we could bring up the PCA trade, but there's also the Jarrett Kelenic trade, which worked out well for the Mets.
Right.
You know?
You're right. And
I'm happy about this trade.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Sean.
I also have to admit, we are sentimental people. And I think a part of why Met fans have had a tough offseason was the sentimentality of losing Pete Alonso. There was another small aspect of sentimentality that hit me last night.
What's that?
So I'm sitting in Madison Square Garden watching the New York Knicks do unspeakable things that are illegal in half of the states in this country to the Brooklyn Nets. And I'm doing it with my young 5-year-old Spence, who's wide-eyed. The Nets are up 6-4. He has optimism. And then he has to watch the Knicks bludgeon us for the second time. I then have to
How late did you stay?
I had to beg him to leave, Teague. He did not want to leave.
So you didn't see the 31-6. What was the fourth quarter?
No, I did not see the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Nobody but the Knicks saw that fourth quarter.
Exactly.
I was trying to get the hell out of there. So that was tough enough as a dad. I felt like a terrible dad. Like, here I brought my youngest son to 2 Knicks-Nets games at Madison Square Garden to see them lose by a combined.
You know why? Because your brain lies to you. And your brain lies to us. The Nets are going to beat the Knicks.
I know.
And Mike Brown's going to get fired. My brain is telling me this.
I'm an idiot. But I think what made it worse is when I got home, I then had to come up with an explanation to my oldest son, whose name is Jett, and was really excited about Jett Williams, why Jett Williams is no longer a Met prospect.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I'm not going to lie, that was not a fun conversation. And what I had
Did he take it okay?
He did, because I lied to him.
What did you say?
I said Freddy Peralta is the best pitcher in baseball.
Okay.
I said we went, which he's not.
But you won't be rooting for him when you hit your impressionable years.
Yeah, right. He'll be on another team.
He'll be somewhere else.
He'll be with the Yankees next year. But no, I sold it to him as, look, the Mets traded Jett Williams, but the good news is we got one of the best pitchers in baseball, which softened the blow. But I saw the disappointment in his eyes. So in the last 5 hours, I had to tell my 5-year-old the Brooklyn Nets are on a real NBA team. We're leaving the Garden, and he says, Dad, why we trade our best player to the Knicks again? And I said, son, what a question. And it was in an elevator, so everyone started laughing. They were all having a good time. And then a few hours later, I got to tell, hey, Jett, sorry, Jett's gone.
So did he say why or why don't we? Because they could use Michael Porter.
No. Yeah, he watched Michael Porter Jr. last night. It wasn't exactly something to behold.
That's true.